whatever geopolitical tensions are there, like whatever issues that students might face, they are still willing to come to US.
Yes.
But they are questioning, given the state of the job market, they are questioning the long-term outcomes. Like you said, that the universities have to make it clear. And they still are questioning the job outcomes. So how do you see the US job market evolving for these graduates?
There is absolutely a responsibility on the universities to prepare the students. And a lot of schools do that, and a lot of schools are working closely with the corporate world, with the workforce world, to kind of tell them, hey, what is it that you're looking for, so we can prepare our graduates for it. What I've seen from my experience, because I've been working with students for a long time, it's the students who show up and take advantage of the opportunities that will always thrive.
So, hi guys, my name is Pragati and I'm your host for Thoughtcast today. We have a very special guest for you, Blerina Polovina with us. Hi, how are you feeling?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good. So, can you please tell us something about yourselves?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me here. I'm excited. As you said, my name is Blerina. I'm currently the Associate Vice President for International Recruitment and U.S. Partnerships at InUni Global, which is an organization that works very closely with universities in the United States, as well with our partners here and with students, to be the strategic connector about dreams to realities, right? A little bit about me. I've been working in international education for about 20 years now. My journey in U.S. started as an international student. I was a young girl, 14, 15, when I came across a small saying that says America is the place of second chances. And I was like, yeah, that's a good place to be. So I made up my mind that day that I wanted to study in U.S. And it's been a journey. I did come. I appreciated every opportunity that was given to me. And here I am today, hoping to make other students feel the same excitement that I did.
So, where did your journey start from?
I was born and raised in Albania, which is a small country in Mediterranean, and by the Balkan area. And I wanted to start business. My father had his own business. I was like, man, and he only had 3 daughters. He didn't have a son. So of course I'm like, I'll be the one taking over the business. Life happened though. You know, you fall in love and you go to a country, you get married, you have kids, and America became my home. But international education was instilled in me from the moment I started. And education per se was instilled to me by my parents. I know, like most students here, most families do not have a lot of money, and the ones they do, they put it on their kids, right? So my father said, I don't have enough money to leave it to you, but I'll give you the best treasure that I can give, and that is education. Because once you have that, then you can take over the world if you choose to do so. And that has been the one thing that I hold very close to my heart. It's when I talk to students, when I talk to partners, I know where they're all coming from, because at the end of the day, it's the sacrifices of the families, the dreams of the students, and being able to combine the two to make worth all the sacrifices the families are doing and to see the students reach their potential. It's one of the greatest things I think I like more about my jobs.
So, I mean, you know, a lot of people have a lot of dreams. So, what has kept you motivated throughout this journey?
It's I'm one of my greatest, that pains me the most is when I see somebody who cannot see their greatness. And if I can help them see that greatness, I know they will change the world. So I think at the end of the day, that's what drives me.
I think we're hoping to see a lot of greatness here on
Yes,
this podcast.
I hope so. If not, I think we have to just believe it. I think the world is out there. What I tell everybody is, you got to show up. You cannot just sit and hope things will come to me and then be angry that nothing came. Opportunities are out there. You just have to show up, because if you do not show up, it will not happen. Like I was meeting with a few students yesterday who said, well, we are afraid we will get denied, so we don't even try to apply. And I said, if you don't try, then no is guaranteed. But if you try,
True.
just maybe,
Yeah,
you will either get a
absolutely.
maybe or you will get a yes. So fear is there. Fear, I think, is there to guide us, which means something greater is around the corner. So just take that leap of faith. So that's what I tell everybody. Take the leap of faith, show up. You never know what life will bring back to you.
So for anybody who's interested in taking a leap of faith right now, with all the environment in the United States right now, what do you think are the major trends that are shaping graduate education in the US?
So the one thing that I believe it's happening more and more is education is no longer about the degree I'm getting. It's about the job I will get once I graduate. And if that was always there, now the demand has become bigger and faster. And everything is changing so fast. And a lot of people are realizing it's too fast. How do I make myself get there faster? So that is one of the biggest one of the biggest changes I've seen in grad education is the return of our investment. That it's a lot of money to study in US, right? So I better get something out of it. And what can you as an institution help me, assure me that I'm going to be prepared for that new job, which right now it's a bit challenging because AI and technology are moving faster, so half of the jobs probably don't exist. But I think the return on investment would be the biggest thing of trends right now that I'm seeing, and the readiness for a workforce that is faster than what universities sometimes work with.
Okay, absolutely. So what are the different changes that you've seen in student expectations, university processes, and higher education trends over the years in your job?
Well, I think on a student expectation, the first thing is they need fast answers. Right now, if you think about how universities usually operate, most of the time they'll take their sweet time. I don't think they can afford doing that anymore because information out there, students can find it on their own. Competition is more, so a lot more schools will be able to give you an answer faster than another. So the response, it's very imperative. I think the one thing that will make a difference in a world that is becoming very AI focused, the human touch will make the difference. Because right now students can find information anywhere. You go to ChatGPT or whatever other AI tool, you tell them, give me the great things about this particular university, it will list them for you. I don't think students want the listing thing. The listing thing will be there. I think the students want that human touch, that human connection, that person that says, I see you among all the other groups, I see you as an individual, and I will help you take your dream, give you all the steps that you need to get where you want to go. So to be open, to be clear, it's what I think students want more. Sometimes they're just sitting and waiting. Like I've submitted my application, right? Nobody has heard anything. They want to know, tell me where I'm at. Keep the communication open. Is there anything extra I need to provide? And I think that expectation will grow more and more. Universities, I see they're changing a lot of the processes. So they've taken a lot of CRM system and AI implementation into their system, not to be able to respond to 100 students at the same time, but to let them know, hey, on your application process, that's where you are. And I think then after that, they have that human touch kick in. I think another expectation that truly is for every student is, can you guarantee what my career outlook will look like, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Education in US is not cheap. But the return on investment return on investment in US, it's a lot bigger than a lot of other countries. But students don't know what they don't know, and universities have a responsibility to make that known to them, to let the students know here's step 1, step 2, step 3, and I think once universities will do all that it's required to help students feel, okay, I'm cared for, I'm supported, I'm guided. That here's the end that I'm looking for. And I think those are the schools that will really do the best, and I think those are the students that will be more successful. But that's what I'm currently seeing. I think human touch will be the difference right now. And we are creatures that love connection. And I think in a world that is turning a lot more into AI and fake stuff everywhere, the one-on-one connection will make a difference, because that's where trust happens, and that's where students will be seen and appreciated for who they are. And everybody likes to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, with the AI, everybody out there is a lot of misinformation as well.
Oh, yes.
And students fall for it all the time. So the human touch can actually erase that kind of misinformation and cover up the gap that students face all the time.
And I think it will change. Social media for a while right now, it's being used for news, right? With AI kicking in and a lot of fake documentation, I heard somebody say he feels in about 2030, social media will just become a place where you will see the funny videos of cats and dogs. And students will go back into finding information through people. And I do believe that's where it's going, because right now it's so hard to find what's true or not true. And at one point, we as people will become tired of it, and we'll be like, you know what, yeah, this was fun, okay, give me the information. So I think human touch will be key.
I mean, I'm still struggling to figure out cats and dogs videos on AI, if they are made from AI.
Oh, I know.
So
Yeah.
documentation
I don't even try. I'm like, oh, it's funny, it's not funny, scroll it up. So that's what I usually do with the cat and dogs. I no longer question if it's real or not. So, but it's the reality, and I think as more as the technology will be getting bigger and bigger, I think the need for human connection will grow as well. And I think that's where the magic happens with people, in human connection.
Absolutely. Speaking of technology, like, especially in STEM, like STEM is a field that can benefit a lot from technology. So what are the changes that you're expecting in the next 5 years with AI and automation in the field?
Well, I mean, if you think right now, STEM is it. And if you look at what the future of the jobs looks like, it will be a very STEM-focused jobs. Like in United States, I do believe they foresee an 8.1% growth of STEM jobs by 2030 minimum, with the big areas on different areas of interest, and that is from AI and machine learning to semiconductors to data science, cybersecurity. And if you look at what the way the technology is going, the whole world is trying to catch up with it, and a lot of countries want to be the number one known country for technology in the world. And if you think about what the United States is doing last year, U.S. government invested about $52 billion on semiconductor and AI chips, which means if you think about it, the new jobs will be on that area, right? And there's a lot, about $92 million on AI innovation. And I always tell students, you know what the news is saying one thing, and you look what the actions of a government is currently doing. This is what the United States government has done. It's put in billions of dollars in semiconductor and AI innovation that you would say, okay, then that means there's future jobs there. So the growth of STEM is not just in US. I think everywhere around the world right now, the growth of STEM jobs, it's it. If you look at even the new foundation and the money that is being put into AI and technology, I heard somebody say it will be a 40% growth. Like, and when you think of when people put all the money, then you think in about a year, 2, 3, 5 years, the new jobs will be on those markets. So STEM is it because that's a reality right now. That's where everybody's trying to grow. And if I were a student, I would be very very thoughtful into thinking on going for a STEM degree, because it will open the doors for greater opportunities in careers. And nobody has to lose their passion, right? Because sometimes somebody says, well, I don't want to do STEM, I want to do this. I think passion is one thing, and assuring you have the means to support yourself is another. And passion can never grow unless you feel certain that you've got the foundation and you've got the money to support and pay your bills, so you have that peace of mind. Someone does not have to lose passion if the passion is not technology, but be smart enough to say, this is where the jobs are. I'm going to go get there. I'm going to do this studies, this program, because I want to go get there, and I want to be able to find a job that will support myself and my family.
Absolutely. I mean, the ROI is the most important part when it comes to US.
Yeah,
I mean, in India itself,
absolutely,
me just a second. In India itself, students are extremely concerned. Like, they are coming to forward for loans incessantly, because they have to be very, very careful if they will get the ROI or not. So they are willing to risk a lot.
I know.
Because they believe in the US that the US education will help them.
I totally understand. And I think us as recruiters right now, and where I'm at, I work with the recruitment, and we here work on recruitment. And I always, right now, I think the strategy on recruiting students is no longer I'm recruiting for a program, but we're going to have to change, I'm recruiting for a career. And so I think it's our duty to help students foresee what they can do with this program before they start. It doesn't mean it will be there, but somebody needs to know, have a North Star to know how to get there.
Oh.
And it's our responsibility, I feel right now, to do that. And if we do not do that, then we fall short of what our students' expectations rightfully are for us. And that means we have to be more knowledgeable about what the market is looking for and share that information with the students, so when they make those decisions and when they go apply for those loans, they have that peace of mind that my return of investment will be there and I will be able to pay off the loan and be able to support my family and know the responsibilities that I know international students carry when they come abroad, because it's not just theirs. They know of all the sacrifices every member of the family did to get them there, and I know there's a responsibility there to honor that. And by us helping them see their future and their potential, what it could be, I think it's going to give them a peace of mind knowing, okay, I can move forward with it.
That's the most important thing I can say about, in recruitment when students want to study abroad. But there is another concern that there is among students, that's the immigration policies, the OPD changes, and the student visas. Like there are different kind of clickbaity headlines every other day. So, and a lot of them are true, but some of them leave out a lot of context.
Yes.
So how should students interpret these headlines?
Well, first of all, I always tell students, do not base it by what social media goes. Go to a trusted group, right? They can come to you. They can go to the university. They can check the websites like Department of State. They can check website as USCIS because that's where the actual official rules are. Sometimes there's two areas, and I think it goes out of context. There's a proposal stage, and then there's a policy stage. A lot of the conversations that are happening right now, it's a proposal stage. And usually when something is proposed, it goes through different steps before it even is approved, or decision, do we approve it or not. So a lot of the OPTs and a lot of the change of status that are currently happening are still on a proposal end. I think it was open to public for comments, and I think that got closed in December. And usually once it closes, the government looks at all the comments and then they come back with a decision. If there will be any changes, I'm not sure, but I know every time they will make a change, there's a way for it for students to still move forward. I honestly, truly believe OPT will never be removed. And I can tell you why, because if you look at where US is right now, we have fewer people being born than the ones that are going to get old. And we do not have enough people to support the jobs that are needed. It's not. Logically, you cannot happen. And if you look at the growth that it's going to expected on jobs like AI and STEM degrees, it is imperative for international talent to come. And if you think of the rule of the H-1B, right, the 100,000 fee that everybody got, if you come through a student, it's waived. It's not. Because to me shows the interest and the dedication of the government to say, I want you to come as a student. I want you to be educated in US. Because I'd rather have somebody educated in US to be here and to qualify for that H-1B than somebody educated from abroad. So when I look at the reality, I tell students, do not panic on when it's a proposal. Unless it becomes a policy, it's just words. And right now, the policies are open. STEM OPT and OPT are still available. Nothing else has changed. But my expert opinion and knowing what the reality is, I truly don't believe OPT will be removed, because United States really needs international students and international talent.
So how do you see the education in the US evolving? Because there is a lot of demand for international education, and India is catching on really high.
Yes.
And so there is going to be a greater challenge about accessibility to quality education, and there will be a lot of global challenges that will accompany it. So what are your views on that?
On education per se, and the challenge is focused or mostly for US and the competition? Well, I will first want to say something that I think is different for education in US. In a lot of countries, your students will go in and they will get a great education. I'm not questioning. There's some schools out there that are on this level. But most of the time, education in a lot of countries is you sitting in a classroom and a professor talking, and you're doing an exams and getting a diploma. which is what happens in US. But the biggest beautiful thing that happens in US education is that experimental learning, which is the core of education system in US. And what I tell students is they don't understand what that means, but that's where the beauty is. Because you are, while you're studying, you're doing what you're learning. And the magic happens when you're doing what you learn. So I think that is something unique in United States. However, I think US has to be humble enough to know that the world is growing, the competition is growing, and there's some great institutions out there, and a lot of countries are leveling up. I mean, look at India. I mean, number 4 in the money and the things that are happening, and I know India is going to do great things. So I think US has to be humble enough to first understand that education in US is no longer for granted. Students have other options. I think they have to be humble enough to see that studying in US should not be like an export degrees kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think they should be more open if they want to expand the education of US, knowing the accessibility, to be willing to bring that education where the students are. Because only 1%, this percentage will be able to come to US. But the greatness of that education can be taken in a whole different level if they're willing to come to the areas where the students are and bring that education to them. And I think the institutions who will do that will be the ones that I think in the long run will be more successful and will survive, because I think some schools potentially will have to close their doors if they all depend on students who come into US, and financially not everybody can. The geopolitical tensions we are currently facing, not everybody can. But the education does not have to stay in US. It can come anywhere in the world if some schools are humble enough to accept that. At least that's my opinion.
So, even if whatever geopolitical tensions are there, like whatever issues that students might face, they are still willing to come to US.
Yes.
But they are questioning, given the state of the job market, they are questioning the long-term outcomes. Like you said, that the universities have to make it clear. And they still are questioning the job outcomes. So how do you see the US job market evolving for these graduates?
Well, there's 2 areas that I think for students need to understand. There's jobs there, and I do believe the job growth will be there. So if you think of students who are wanting to start studying now for fall 2026, they probably will not be ready for the job until 2028 if they're master students, and maybe 2030 by the time if they are bachelor students, right? So by the time the market will grow. There is absolutely a responsibility on the universities to prepare the students. And a lot of schools do that, and a lot of schools are working closely with the corporate world, with the workforce world, to kind of tell them, hey, what is it that you're looking for, so we can prepare our graduates for it. What I've seen from my experience, because I've been working with students for a long time, it's the students who show up and take advantage of the opportunities that will always thrive. And then there's a group of students who just comes and settles in. And what I've seen, especially with students from India, and sometimes it drives me crazy, I would say, you didn't come to US to stay with your people. If you wanted to stay with your people, you could have stayed home. But I think because their familiarity, and you come to a foreign country, sometimes they find students from their own country, and they create this closed niche. And they don't take advantage of all the other opportunities that are happening in US. And education in US, if you think about it, they have most universities will have employers come twice a year, at least, to tell people, I have internships and I have jobs open, come apply. If you don't show up, how do you know? There's a lot of networking opportunities. So students, it's a two-way street. The school is responsible to do something, but if the student does not show up and take advantage of it, then they will complain that the job market is not there, because somebody brighter and somebody who was more involved will have gotten that job. So the job market, I do foresee it will grow, especially looking at what I spoke earlier, all the money that has been put into the STEM development. But it will be up to the student to show up. Because trust me, I've seen it over and over again. The ones who show up, they thrive. I've seen them grow, and I've seen them do things that I never thought possible. And I've seen the other ones who kind of tried it. They just showed up for the sake of showing up. They went to class, did what they're supposed to do, and then didn't get involved in anything out of their comfort zone. Get out of the comfort zone. Opportunity is out of the comfort zone.
So your biggest advice is literally get out of your comfort zone.
Get out of your comfort zone. Stop being afraid.
Yeah.
I've told you, I was a former international student, and when I started, I was terrified to even speak because I was afraid people would judge me because my English was not good. And so I found a job on campus, and it was literally hooking up computers so I didn't have to talk. But then summer came, and I wanted to have a job for more than 20 hours. So I applied for this job would require me to sit in the front and talk to everybody who walked in. I was terrified, but I'm like, well, I have to. I need a job, and I need to make money. And I realized nobody made fun of me. Everybody was kind. Everybody was helpful. It was always in my head. And I created this narrative in my head that stopped me. And I think that's what stops us. It's the narrative in our head. People are kind. Most people are kind. And the ones who are unkind, they're not your people, I tell them. So put them on the side and focus on your people.
That's absolutely true. Yeah.
So, but that's what I would say. Look, at the end of the day, we can do everything in our power, right? If the student doesn't do it, how much? I mean, I tell my kids all the time, especially my youngest one, he does soccer. And I say, I see he's great at soccer. I think he would be a great player. But I'm like, I can want it as much as I want. If you don't want it, nothing will happen.
Yeah. I mean, you can help them, but you can't do it for them.
Yeah, I cannot do it. I can push them, I can cheer them on, but if they don't take that step, I will just cheer on the side, and he will wonder what he could have done.
So, asking from an AI point of view, like what kind of jobs do you think are going to be driving the market? Because, there is a lot of, people are not very clear about where the market is going. So if you were to give an advice on jobs, on what skills they should have to remain employable in the US right now in today's job market, and possibly the future trend with future market trends, what kind of skills should they have?
Of course. So I think for future jobs, what I think with all the STEM that it's happening, of most of the jobs, from what I can tell, will be on AI and machine learning. Data analytics is still going to be big. Semiconductors, cybersecurity, green science to be more sustainable. Biomedical will be a growth as well. But I think every student has to figure out and learn on their own right now something about AI. Everybody's talking about AI, even if the job itself doesn't say AI requirement. I highly recommend students, there's so much information out there, they can take a few courses that can just to get them ready to know what AI stands for, what they can bring to the workforce. However, a few things I think that fall short, and I do believe they will get more important, have nothing to do with AI and more with the person, right? Professionalism and soft skills, I think, will be more important than ever. Because AI can do the work, but critical thinking, the people have to do it. Communication, how you show up, or presentations, those are soft skills I do believe everybody has to work on. And I think if somebody has the soft skills and they have the AI knowledge, they will always be higher than a lot of other people who right now hide behind a camera or hide behind a computer. And what we learn when we talk to employers, that is where the biggest challenge right now is. Students come up with the knowledge because knowledge is everywhere. But knowledge only takes you so far. When you work with people, you need people skills, and a lot of people are falling short of that. So I do believe, as different as it sounds, because we're talking about AI and STEM, it's the people skills, I believe, that on top of the AI knowledge will be imperative for people in the new job market.
I mean, with AI everywhere, I mean, everybody will be expecting a human touch. Like, so far, we have done so well without the human touch. We would love the chatbots, the emails, but now it's going to become
No, it's not. Now you can tell that people are tired of that. I realized when in a chatbot answer, but no, people's skills will make a difference. I always joke, I said, I'll start a course that says I human, because right now everybody's I robot. I'd be like a high human. I'd be like, I'll teach you how to be a human. But I think those are the skills that I believe people have to be aware into. And frankly, between all of us, I think half the jobs that will be in the future, we don't even know what they are yet. So be adaptable.
Yeah.
I would say adaptability and accepting change will be something that will serve students well. Students who control and don't like change will have a higher stress level and very to adopt and to open yourself to say, okay, you know what, change seems to be the norm right now, and adaptability will help them navigate some hard moments in life, especially when things start changing way too fast and you can't catch up.
So, like, as you work in international recruitment, you meet students, you meet educators, you meet a lot of people. So, if you could give the students and the educators one key message, what would you give them?
With students, and I meet a lot of them, and again, I may sound like a broken record.
Not at all, actually.
But I believe sometimes we have dreams in our mind, and they're there for a reason. And I tell students sometimes, especially in cultures where people have to make a decision on your behalf, don't let others' opinions think that your dreams are not worth going for. And most of the time, people don't know what you're dreaming because they're not in your mind. And if they're not being where you are, how can they advise you the right way? Now, dreaming and being realistic are two different things, and I think that's where us as recruiters and universities can come and say, okay, this is your dream, this is what we can do to help you get there. Earlier today I was talking to a few students in a fashion school, and they all wanted to be fashion designers. Realistically, how many of them will actually be fashion designers? And we were talking about one of our institutions where it's not fashion design, it's fashion merchandising, right? And fashion business and customer understanding of customer statistics. And I said, do not think when a program like this come along that it's going to break your dream. It's actually going to amplify it, right? If you want to be a fashion designer, well, maybe you start doing the business of fashion. And you connect with the people who are doing fashion. And then one day you can be a fashion designer and have the tools and the resources and the connections that can make you successful. And sometimes students feel they only see this little, and I want them to expand their vision and make those decisions. And I think that's where we as recruiters come along, because we've seen more things and we have more insights. But that's what I would say. For us as recruiters, we have a responsibility to be ethical, to not lie, but at the same time to show the opportunity to the students, because people don't know what they don't know until you show it to them. And for students to keep on, to dream, but to still do the work and show up. A dream is just a dream unless you do the actions, because without it, it's just an idea in your head. But that would be it. And I think if there's one, international education would be the best place for any dream, because it connects you with so much more than just an education. It's different people, different cultures, and what you get out of it is a lot better than you ever thought when you started.
What is the advice that you would give to Indian students specifically, apart from break out of your
Indian
closeness?
So to Indian students specific, again, I think here the culture is, it's a lot, you are together and you move together, and it's okay to have your own desire, and it doesn't have to be approved by everybody, and it's easier said than done. But I remember once I was talking to a student who went for a visa. And he said, and of course he went and he had his visa denied, but he said, ma'am, I was walking through the door and I already told myself my visa will be denied, because everybody told me the visa would be denied. And in a way, sometimes for families and friends to help, they kind of step unintentionally on your dreams. And I think it happens a lot here, because I've seen students sometimes make decisions because somebody else made that decision. I'm going to go for this program because my brother went for this program. I'm changing to this program because my friend changed it for this program. And I think it's important right now for students to say, what is it that I want? And be okay with it. And I think there may be something I would advise students from India, because I've seen a lot of decisions have been made because somebody else did it, or because somebody else told them to.
Follow the steps.
And then you come to a point you realize that's not what you wanted anytime, because it was not what you wanted. You just followed the flow of everybody else. So there would be something I would say to students from India, because I'm sure they want some stuff and it's okay to want it and go for it.
So if you can you tell us one really interesting story or a student that you've come across while in your work?
I mean, there's been quite a few stories. I've seen stories of hurt, I mean, like you can see a potential in students. But the biggest ones that I've seen of students have been, even from India, for example, when I was working in one of the institutions, the student came in with a degree, and then she started getting involved in the university, which is important. I always tell students, get involved. So she started working in organizations. Any network opportunity that was coming, she was showing up. Any job opportunities on campus, she's like, hey, I'll do it. And what happened is she graduated top 4.0 GPA, and because she was so involved, she found a job right away. And in US, I'm telling you, one rule I always tell students is, when you start to work in US or anywhere in the world, make yourself so indispensable, so good, that the employer will be like, oh my God, I have to do everything in my power to keep you. And that's what happened with her. She was so fantastic that the employer tried and said, I'm going to keep you. They applied for her H-1B. She got approved. She now has a green card, waiting for her citizenship. And she's making more money than I am. And I've been in the field, and I've been working for a while now, and she makes a lot more money than I do. But that's persistence, that's dedication, that's getting out of your comfort zone, and it can only get better.
That's wonderful. This has been a wonderful conversation. Is there any other message or anything that you want to say that you want our viewers to know about, that this is important and you should know this?
Well, I will say, I mean, right now, I will acknowledge what's currently happening right now, because a lot of people are wondering, does US still want me? I know a lot of media there doesn't seem like US is as welcoming. And I just want to let students know, there's things that are happening right now, and of course, some of them are not right, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But I work in the area, in the field, and I work on the ground where people are. And where I can tell you is, they're not only more welcome, but there's this the responsibility right now that feels willing among all our institutions and people on the ground to make sure they're safe and they're welcomed and they feel welcomed. So because at the core, we know that they're the essence of what made United States United States. If you think of the history of US, it all came from somewhere out of US. And I know things are not showing like it's welcoming. It actually is welcoming. And I'm hoping things will change and visas will open up, because I know there's one question and concern is, and when they open up, I tell students, be prepared. So if anybody is exploring right now to apply for fall 2026, I tell them not to wait. Go apply, see if you get admitted, have all the paperwork in hand, and once those visa slots will open, show up. And the one recommendation I'll do when they go for the interviews, I know sometimes they want us to tell them what the answers are. And I said, it's not my answer that you need to find, it's your answer. So if they get involved in the process, if they know what they want to do, the answers will become very easy when they go in, because they will be genuine. And I think at the moment, from what I've heard from talking to other colleagues and talking to the US embassies, they're looking for genuine students, not students who are told, say this because it's the right thing. Say the answer because it's your answer and you truly believe it. And if you do, I think things will look better. But I just want to tell them, you're still welcome in US. There's a community out there that will love and support you. And I do hope you still keep dreaming, because I truly believe it's a place of the greatest opportunities in the world. And not because I live there, but I lived it, and that's why.
So thank you so much for joining us at the AECC Thoughtcast. We would love to have you again.
Well, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I answered the questions.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation.
Oh, I did too. Can you tell? We became best friends now. But no, I loved it. I thank you for the opportunity, and I love whenever I'm back to still talk to you and your students.
Sure thing.
Okay.
We'd love to see you here again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.